Why did my stepdad believe his sister instead of taking me to the ER for my allergic reaction? The shrimp hit my plate at my stepdad Raymond's birthday dinner, and I immediately felt the first warning signs. I was 15 years old, sitting at a crowded table at Giuseppe's Italian restaurant with my mom, my stepdad, his sister Denise, and about 12 other relatives I barely knew. The waiter had just brought out the seafood pasta special that Raymond had insisted everyone try, his treat for his 50th birthday celebration. I looked down at the pink curves of shrimp nestled in the linguine and felt my stomach drop. I told mom about my shellfish allergy when I was 12 after a school lunch incident with crab cake sent me to the nurse's office with hives and breathing difficulties. The school had documented it, sent home paperwork, recommended we get an EpiPen. Mom had promised to tell Raymond when they got married 8 months ago, but I wasn't sure she ever had. I raised my hand to get mom's attention across the table, but she was deep in conversation with Raymond's brother about their upcoming cruise. The tingling started in my lips and tongue within 30 seconds of the plate arriving, even though I hadn't taken a bite. Cross-contamination from the kitchen, or maybe just the proximity to the allergen. I knew from past experience that I had maybe 5 to 10 minutes before things got serious. I stood up quickly, knocking my water glass over, and the cold liquid spread across the white tablecloth. Everyone stopped talking and looked at me. Raymond's sister Denise, a large woman with platinum blonde hair and an opinion about everything, immediately said in a loud voice that I was being dramatic and clumsy, that I needed to sit down and stop making a scene at Raymond's birthday dinner. I tried to explain that I was allergic to shellfish, that I needed to leave immediately, but my tongue was already swelling and the words came out slurred and unclear. Mom finally looked up and saw my face, and I watched her expression change from annoyance to concern. She started to stand, but Denise put a hand on her arm and said in that authoritative tone she always used that I was fine, that teenagers always cause drama for attention, and that she'd raised 4 boys and knew when a kid was faking. Denise worked as a medical assistant at a dermatology clinic and never let anyone forget it, constantly offering unsolicited medical opinions at family gatherings. She told mom that food allergies were mostly psychological, that kids claimed to be allergic to things they didn't like, and that forcing me to sit through dinner would teach me not to manipulate situations. Raymond looked between me and his sister, and I saw the moment he made his choice. He told me to sit down, that Denise knew what she was talking about, that we weren't leaving his birthday dinner because I didn't want to eat seafood. My throat was closing up now, each breath requiring conscious effort, and I could feel hives rising on my neck and arms. I tried to tell him this was serious, that I needed an ambulance, but my voice came out as a whisper, and my vision was starting to blur at the edges. Mom stood up and said we needed to go, that something was clearly wrong, but Denise grabbed her wrist and told her she was being manipulated by a spoiled teenager who wanted attention. She said that if we left Raymond's birthday dinner, it would ruin the entire evening and embarrass him in front of his family. I stumbled toward the restaurant exit, my legs feeling weak and disconnected. The hostess asked if I was okay, and I tried to say I needed help, but no sound came out anymore. My throat had closed completely. I could see her mouth moving, asking questions, but the sound was muffled like I was underwater. She grabbed a manager, and they helped me outside to the sidewalk where the cool evening air hit my face. I was wheezing now, fighting for each breath, my chest tight and my heart racing. The manager pulled out his phone and started dialing 911, but Raymond appeared and grabbed the phone from his hand, saying there was no emergency, that his stepson was being dramatic, that his sister was a medical professional and had assessed the situation. The manager looked confused and asked if I had asthma or allergies, and Raymond said no, that I was fine, that Denise had confirmed I was having an anxiety attack and just needed to calm down. The manager reluctantly put his phone away, clearly uncomfortable but not willing to argue with a paying customer. I collapsed onto the sidewalk, my body convulsing as I tried to force air into my lungs. My skin felt like it was on fire, covered in raised welts that itched and burned simultaneously. I could feel my face swelling, my eyes almost swollen shut, and I knew with absolute certainty that I was dying. Raymond stood over me telling me to stop this nonsense, to get up and come back inside, that I was embarrassing him in front of his entire family on his birthday. Mom came running out with her purse, keys in hand, saying she was taking me to the hospital regardless of what anyone thought. Denise followed her, still insisting that I was faking, that giving in to this manipulation would set a terrible precedent. She said that when her boys tried to get out of things they didn't want to do, she never gave in, and that's why they'd grown up to be responsible adults. She told Raymond that if he let mom take me to the ER, I'd learn that dramatic behavior got rewarded, and he'd deal with this kind of thing constantly. Raymond stood there looking between his wife and his sister, and I watched him choose again. He told mom that Denise was right, that we needed to set boundaries, that taking me to the ER would cost thousands of dollars for what was clearly an anxiety attack. That's when things got a lot worse. Full story is linked below.